Hello and welcome to this session on roofs. First of all, just to get us started, let's just do a little bit of housekeeping here. So let's turn on our grid. So we go View, Construction Grid Display. Cool. So now we can sort of see where we are in our drawing. Just makes the scale of everything a lot easier to handle because we've got a sort of 2 meter square. So when I zoom in, I know that I'm 2 meters zoomed in. All right. Is there anything else? Also let's just we're going to draw a single level dwelling, so I don't need this story, and this story is going to be called our roof story. Okay, so that's where our roof is going to end up. And is there anything else we need to do? No, I don't think so. Okay, and we're going to draw a little slab in here. So I'm going to start off just by using my snap grid. So if you haven't already got these palettes switched on, so this is my coordinate palette and my control palette. Okay, coordinate control. And we're just going to draw, actually let's use our grid snap. So we're snapping to this 2 meter grid. And we're drawing let's go about 16 meters by 12 meters. Awesome. Okay. So all we've got at the moment is something that looks like that. We can throw some walls on here. Okay, so we've got our walls. No, we're on the ground floor. Make sure you're not on the roof. And I'm just going to magic wand straight onto the walls, onto the slab. And so now we've got our slab. It looks like there's an overhang here, but that's actually just the cladding. Okay, so remember the cladding comes out a little bit. So that's the, what is it called? The composite structures, I think it's called. It's not going to tell me, is it? So that's defined here anyway. See, so that's actually got the little cladding on the outside. Alright, and I'm going to use the AutoMagical Roof, which is this one here. Okay, so we're going to use the AutoMagical Roof, and again I'm just going to go hold down the spacebar and go click, and voila, we have a roof, which looks incredibly ugly because the default angle is 45 degrees. So let's change that to like we'll go 15 degrees. Okay. We've also at the moment the edges of this are actually 90 degrees, which is all right. But let's have a look what other options we have. So we can say, well, actually I want these to be vertical edges. Cool. And we've also actually got an overhang already built into it. Okay. So here's my reference line that I've drawn, and here's my overhang. Now there's a little gotcha here. If I go and grab this and go, actually I want my overhang to be larger, and so I use the offset and I make this bigger. Oh, it worked that time. That was weird. Oh, okay. Just be careful that that reference line doesn't move. So I've definitely seen this happen in the past, and I don't know why it's not doing it to me now, but the reference line is actually staying where it is, which is great. Alright, what else can we do here? I'm just going to turn my snap grid off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the edge of this here, and if we go, where are we? So we can add extra points, which is going to make absolutely no sense in this case. Ah, there we go. Actually, this is what's happening. See, if I click on this edge here and I go and offset it, so if I go offset all, you watch what happens. The reference line moves. Okay, so just be careful. The reason I say be careful is that because my reference line has moved, I will end up with a gap, in theory, above the roof. Hang on, let's just go and do a little trick here. So if we go and grab the Marquee tool, I'm just going to actually just draw a marquee like that, and I'm going to hit F4 on the Mac or F5 on the PC, and we can actually see what's going on a lot clearer now. Okay, so note the roof no longer touches the wall. Okay, and that's because my reference line, it's kind of like a contour line, if you like. Okay, so this is the height here that's been set to 3 meters. Okay, and the top of my wall is also at 3 meters. However, if I go and move this reference line out, I've got a problem. Okay, because now it's 3 meters here, so it's going to be a lot higher over here. Okay, so just make sure you're grabbing the right edge. Now I've also got the ability, if I go to here, I can actually say, well, actually, what happens if I want to change just one edge here? So hang on, let's just get this. Can I get this to work? Come on. Why is it my pet palette? There we go. Alright, and I'm going to say that this selected edge, yep, so the selected edge, the clicked edge, okay, is going to apply this change, and I can do things like, I thought I could say what the offset is, which is a little bit weird. What's going on there? Hang on. Ah, there we go. Sorry, get the reference line zone. Okay, so this is by clicking on that reference line and this little option here, I don't know what they call that, but it's a custom plane settings. So here's the angle of that single piece, and it's also got the overhang here as well. So for example, if I can now change this to, like, say 45 degrees, and it will try and figure out how to make this work, and it's going to be a little bit odd. Sorry, let's just reset this 3D view. So I've got nothing selected. I'm just going to hit F4 or F5 on the PC, and we'll fit this to view, and you can see it has actually got this to work, but it's looking a little bit odd. Okay. Now yes, I could actually bring this edge and say, well, what happens if we bring this back to meet here? Cool. And I still get a little bit of oddity happening, but you've just got to realize that this is just due to the geometry that we're dealing with, okay? So it is going to be a little bit weird. Alright. In fact, what if we bring this edge back and we touch to here? Ah, and look at this. See, we're still getting some very strange things happening. Okay, unfortunately, that's just the reality of how these things are going to meet. It is going to be a design challenge. Alright. So I've just got undo. So that's one way of building roofs. But what other options do we have? And I think I said earlier in the session that roofs don't necessarily just have to be roofs. These could be any. It's kind of think of it as a slab on an angle. Okay, so that could be I don't know, a wheelchair ramp or a path or a driveway. Maybe even, well, you could use it in place of a beam, but I don't know why you would. But yeah, so think of roofs as slabs on an angle. Okay, so and we just need to be able to set the height by this reference line. So let's draw one now. So I'm going to delete this roof. I'm going to grab this roof tool and I'm going to use this geometry method. Okay, so this is the single plane method. Now you'll notice that these options change a little bit here. Okay, very similar. But the first line that we have to do draw is our reference line. Okay, so remember this is like our contour. Okay, so this is the point at which this is going to be 3 meters. Now get the little eyeball, which if you read down the bottom here, it says click for upward pitch of roof. So that means which way does it slope up. Okay, so it's sloping up in this direction, and now I can draw my roof. So this time I'm going to do a mono pitch roof. Okay, and I'm drawing this methodology, which I define the width and then the length. Cool. And now I'm going to continue. And if I hit F3, now this isn't quite going to work because, for one, we've got a 45 degree angle on here, so let's change this to, let's say 15. Okay, and we've got no overhang whatsoever, so this is going to come back to haunt us. So now, if I go and grab this though, and I go and click on the edge, okay, and I'm going to offset all edges, and we're going to go D500. Now note, if I select this, we should still be able to see. Oopsies, I did the slab. Okay, make sure you get the roof. Where is our roof? Now, notice it looks like the roof has disappeared. What's actually happened is it's appeared on the roof story. I wasn't paying attention, but it should have given me a little error and said that the result of what I'd drawn has meant that it's appeared on another story. Okay, so it's up here. Now, there's actually a couple little things that we should really talk about here. Number one, if I delete this just temporarily, right? So I'm just going to delete this. Notice we can't see anything below. So that can be sometimes a little bit frustrating. I'm just going to undo. So if you're trying to see stuff that's below, remember you can go and turn on the trace. Okay, so now I can see the walls that are underneath. Now if I go and offset the edge of this, you watch what happens this time though. So I go D500. The reference line stayed exactly where it was. Okay, and I can now have a look in the 3D, and we've got an overhang of 500 mil. Okay, so that's all good. What else can we do? Well, we could move this reference line if we really wanted to. So you'll actually notice that we can move the reference line wherever we like. That is going to influence where this roof appears. I'm going to undo that because we don't really want to do that. We can also add extra points to this, so if we wanted to make this kind of a crazy shape, we could. Is there anything else we can do at this stage? I don't think so. Oh, we could even do things like move the corners. We can add and remove. So we could add a shape to this. Okay. This is using this geometry method. So okay, I can add like an overhang or whatever we like. Okay. What happens though if we wanted to have a roof drawn with this methodology, but I want to have two different slopes? Now yes, I could have used the AutoMagical Roof, but to be honest I prefer doing it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my reference. Okay, it slopes up in this direction. I'm going to draw my roof in there. I'm just going to be pretty crude with this. Okay, and I'm going to do another one on this end. Oops, just make sure you get those snaps right. Okay, so we want to snap to the reference line, sloping up in this direction. And I'm just going to draw another one. Now I don't want these to meet. I want this one to be 45, yep, and I want this one to be 15. And if I do F3, you'll see that we've got these two roofs. Now, first of all, we've got a couple of little weird things happening. I drew this on the roof layer, but it's elevated. Okay, now really what I should do is this should live on the roof story, and this should be 0 on the roof story, and then that will be sitting on top of the roof story. These walls here should live on the ground floor and go up to the roof story. So that means that if I go and change the height of this, so we'll go extreme just to show it off, 5 meter, 5 meter, okay, everything should move up. Okay. If we had it on the ground floor and it goes up to 3 meters, you would have noticed that the roof would have stayed where it was and the walls would have gone through, so that's not ideal. Okay, let's just go can't undo that. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to go settings, and we're just going to change that back to 3 meters. Alright, now the other thing I need to do though is I want this and this to meet. How are we going to do that? Well, this is a little known trick actually. So I'm going up to the roof, I'm going to select this roof, come on, that roof, and I'm going to command click the edge of this roof, okay? And I'm going to do the same one here, so I'm going to select this one and command click this one, and watch what happens. Ta-da! They match. Now I've got a little bit of work here to do, so I'm actually going to just offset this edge, so I should have really brought this up. I'm just going to get to match to this edge here. Okay, oops. Offset that edge so it matches that edge. And look, we have two different pitches and they meet in the middle. Isn't that awesome? Okay, we can also offset this outside edge. In fact, let's just do a little bit of a trick here. Let's go and for one, we should really have things on different layers. I should be more disciplined, but let's just actually I want to actually, what do I want to do? I want to bring this edge in, and we want to snap it to this. I'm going to snap it to here. Cool. I just want to actually, in fact, let's just draw this again. Okay, this time I'm going to draw it a little bit more accurately. So I'm going to delete that. Now you'll notice, there it's disappeared. Sometimes you get this little redraw error where it stays there. Okay, so we're going to do a roof. I'm going to go to the roof tool. Okay, here's my 45-degree roof, so that's going to be on this end. Okay, so it's going to go from there to there, sloping up in that direction. This time I'm going to draw it more accurately so that I've at least got the right length. And we'll do another one on this end, but this one's going to be 15. Cool. Oops, make sure you get that snap so that get the little tick. Cool, sloping up in that direction. And again, we're going to draw it to there. Cool, select this, command click that, select this, command, sorry, on the PC it's control click. Oops. Cool, they should meet now. Excellent. Oops, we've done the same problem we did last time. I'm going to go roofs, command A or control A to select all. We're going to set that to 0 and it's on the roof story. Excellent. Okay, so we've got that. Awesome. We're now going to select this edge and we're going to offset this by D500. Cool, and we can do the same to this. Now actually, watch, if I did all of them, right, watch what happens. So I'm going to offset all edges, D500. And I'm going to offset the same thing for here. Just make sure you, come on, there we go. D500. I'm just going to have to redo the trim because at the moment they're going to cross through each other. Okay, so you can do this whenever you like. Cool, let's make sure you got, come on, that one, and come on, click that. No, that. There we go. Hopefully that works. Yep, awesome. Now we're going to, obviously we're going to have to do a trim here. Now, normally what we would do to trim a wall to a roof is we would go into here and go connect and we go trim elements to roof or shell. However, watch what happens if I go and select that and it wants to know which side I want to keep selected. All of this disappears, okay, which kind of sucks. So when you do this, how are you going to make it work? Because it doesn't matter what you do, it always seems to trim the wrong edges. Okay, so first of all, we need to bring the walls up to go up through the roof. So we're just going to change this to be 3000, and that will bring it all the way up through the roof. Now, the trick is you just select all of the cutting planes, if you like, so in this case the roof, and the walls together, and then you go document, design, connect, trim elements. It's going to ask you what you want to do, and you say yes, use the shells from the current selection, go trim, bam, and we've got it. The other way of doing this, which is also really convenient because I don't know, maybe I'm just old or something, but what I generally do is just do a solid element operation. Okay, so that's where you can go solid element operations. This here is our operator. It's doing, this here is our target. It's the one getting the operation done to it, and this is our operator. Okay, it's doing the cutting. It's doing the operation. We're going to do a subtraction with upwards extrusion, and we're just going to use their own attributes. So that just means that the cuts on these walls will be have the attributes of walls, not the surface of the roof. And we go execute, and bam. Okay, so that's two different ways of doing it. Okay, awesome. Now, actually, while we're here, let's go and pop down to the ground floor, and I'm going to talk a little bit about actually this here as well, because I'm going to create a wheelchair ramp. So let's go and create a door. So I'm going to put a door. Cool, it's going to open up this way. Did I get that right? Yeah, make sure that, see the sun? You're always going to make sure that the sun is pointing in the right direction. Okay, that's the outside of that door. Okay, get the window. I'm going to pop a window in here. Again, the sun's out there. Which way does it open? I suppose it'll open out like that. I'm going to actually cheat here a little bit, and I'm going to go and click on here and use this, which is the multiply tool. And I'm going to do a spread with 1 meter spacing. Sure, why not? And I want this to go all the way right to the end there. Awesome. So we've got something that looks like this. Cool. I want to put a wheelchair ramp in here. So I'm going to go and first of all, let's put a mesh around the outside. So I'm going to draw a mesh. I want the height of this mesh, it's going to be on the ground floor. It's going to be at 0. Okay, so the heights on my mesh equal the heights on my project 0, if you like. I'm going to draw a great big mesh around this entire thing. So let's go. Cool, there's my mesh. So it looks a lot like that. Notice that we are kind of burying the building here a little bit. So I prefer doing it this way, just rather than dropping the entire mesh, putting it at 0 and then dropping the Z heights. So I'm going to drop this to -200, and if I say apply to all, it'll apply it to all of my corners. I'm also going to add some heights to the building itself. So we're just going to go back to the mesh tool, and I'm going to magic wand the outside of this, which hopefully we can get it. Add new points. Yep. Okay, so it's gone around the edge, and I'm going to make those. Let's make them -50. Okay, so they just drop down a little bit, and we should just see the edge of the cladding there. Okay, so there's like a little bit of an edge there. All right. Actually, let's be a little bit more creative here. Let's make this corner go down, I don't know, let's say 1 meter. Cool. And we'll make this corner go down 1 meter as well. Oops, I did apply to all. -200. Cool. Take that off and we'll make that go down -1 meter. Cool, and we'll make this one go down to 1 meter as well. Cool, so we've got something that looks like this. Okay, if we have a look around. Cool, we've got a little bit of a slope that kind of goes down. That's neat. Okay, and I want to have like just a little bit of a ramp that's going to come off there and go down. So I'm going to use the roof tool for this. Okay, and I'm going to use this technique here, so I can do the width of the door. Okay, I can offset this later if I want. And I'm going to draw my reference line at the edge of the door here, okay? And this is actually going to be at 0. Now, it's asking me which way does the roof slope up, okay? And it's actually sloping up in this direction. So even though my wheelchair ramp isn't actually going to go into here, it's going to go down, I still have to say which way it goes up. Okay, so now when I go and put this in here, awesome. Okay, I should have really put a little bit more effort into this because we also want to make sure that this is on the ground floor and that it's at 0. Is there any other settings? Yeah, I'm going to change this to just a simple geometry, a basic structure, and it's going to be made of, I don't know, let's say concrete or something like that. There you go, concrete. It's going to be, let's say, 100 thick. Oh, we'll go 150 mil thick. Concrete slab, and I want it to have a vertical edge. Okay, this is because I want it to meet up with a horizontal slab. All right. I also want the cover fill switched off because otherwise it's going to look a little bit weird. Okay, so here's the cover fill. I'm going to switch that off. Awesome. Okay, so if I go into the 3D view now, what do we got? That's looking pretty cool. Okay, it goes quite deep, and maybe if we're just going to change this. Now I can actually do this visually, actually, because you watch, I can grab this, and I can grab the angle of it, this here, and I can actually bring it up. Okay, oops. So we can actually change the angle there as well. Kind of cool, eh? Now I'm going to actually make it go just to the, yeah, just underneath the surface here. Okay, so it's actually going to dig into the ground a little bit, and then I'm going to have a slab go out from there. So now I'm going to just go and grab a slab. I'm going to set it up in pretty much the same fashion. Okay, so it's going to have vertical edges off it. Oops, that's not a slab. Yeah, grab my slab. Okay, it obviously has vertical edges because it is a slab. I want this simple structure, and it's going to be concrete. And what did we set? 150. Cool. So it's got the same basic attributes as the roof. And I'm now going to draw in a slab. Actually, I'm going to go like this, right? So I'm going to hold down the shift key. Cool, and we'll bring this down. I should have actually measured this. I could just do a simple construction, because if I just go like this, I'm going to go on a 45-degree angle. I think I just completely fluked that, almost. Okay, I'm going to bring this inside edge up so that it meets the intersection here, so that means that it's the same width along there as it is along there. Okay, but how about the height? That's going to be a little bit tricky, isn't it? Not really, because we're just going to grab this. Now just remember, this height here, well, for one, it's going down, so it'll be a little bit tricky. But all I have to do is actually just use the drag. Now I can't actually see this underneath, so what I might just have to do is select this mesh. Now it's on its own layer. We haven't really been talking about layers, so I should really be setting things on layers, but I haven't. I'm just going to hide that layer for now, so hide the selection, and it disappears. Cool, I can grab this now, and I'm going to move this so that it meets there. Oh, sorry, this one here. There we go. Okay, and so now, if we have a little look here, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of an error here because it's coming down. And it's actually meeting quite nicely, isn't it? That looks great. All right. However, if I go and switch on all of the layers again, you'll see that it's underground. All right. So, and actually, even if it was above ground, you watch what happens if I render. In fact, I'm just going to temporarily just drop the mesh down by, it doesn't look like it needs to go down by much, maybe about 40 millimeters, if that. Okay. Now you watch what happens. Okay, so this all looks cool, but you watch what happens when I render. Document, creative imaging, cool, photo render projection. Now this is going to take a little while, so we'll just have to speed it up for you. Alright, and as you can see, something really weird is happening here. Okay, so even though that slab should be on the surface, it's not. It's kind of like the grass is growing right through the concrete. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go over into here and we're going to do a solid element operation. Okay, and so we're going to select these two. They're going to be the the operator, because they're doing the operation. The mesh is going to be our target. And we're going to do a subtraction with upwards extrusion and hit execute. And if we go to the F3, okay, or F4, I'm not quite sure why it already did this, but anyway, we can see now that it doesn't have the grass texture in here. So now when we go and switch everything else on, oops, let's go hide everything. There we go. If I go and render this, you'll see that our grass texture doesn't go through our material anymore. So yeah, a bit of a handy tip there, for free. Now of course, the other thing I can do is now when I lift that terrain back up, in fact, let's just do that before it's even finished rendering. I'm actually going to just, remember, because I dropped this whole terrain down, I'm just going to reset this so that it's back at 0 again and go OK. Now you'll also see we've got that little dirt layer along here as well. If I'd done inherit from operator, these would have looked like concrete. So totally up to you. And if I go creative imaging, photo render projection, and here we go. We've got a beautiful rendering with our path. It's even got a little ramp that leads down into it. It's all nicely trimmed. It looks like someone's gone around and done all the edges, and everything looks beautiful. Isn't that cool? Okay. What other advice have I got about roofs? One is be careful. You can design very crazy looking roofs. Okay, so if I go and grab, I'm just going to use oops, make sure I've got nothing selected here. If I go and draw some sort of crazy looking, roof, let's see. And I go and grab that AutoMagical Roof. Yes, you can make some pretty incredible looking roofs, but warning, how the heck are you going to build it? Okay, so it is very easy to build roofs, or design roofs I should say, that are almost impossible to build. Okay, not entirely impossible. I mean, that one actually looks pretty cool actually. So yeah, so just keep it realistic. but you can do some quite amazing things in here. But probably a good idea to consult with a builder before you go and commit to anything about this sort of construction. Okay, so yes, you can produce some pretty amazing stuff. There is also highly recommend. Have I got it installed? I'm not sure if I have actually. Is the CAD image? Sorry, what they're called, Central Innovation CI Tools Roof Builder. It's got some amazingly cool abilities to do all the framing and gutters, and yeah, it's really cool. Also, there is I think it's in the goodies. There's a really cool thing called there's the Roof Maker. In fact, yeah, this is really cool as well. We'll probably have to do a session on the Roof Maker all by itself. There is, I mustn't have it installed, but there is the goodies. Now, these goodies, I should also do this as a separate thing. Where are they? Somewhere in here. It has a link to ArchiCAD downloads. There's a really cool mesh to roof tool as well, so you can actually use the mesh tool to design a roof and then turn that mesh into roofs, which is under the, where is it, add-ons, I think. It's been there for years, this goodies thing, and it is really cool. There's actually a bunch of really awesome stuff in here. So I'm in New Zealand, and you'll see that it comes with mesh to roof tool. That's really cool. In fact, there's a lot of really handy stuff in here. The polygon counting tool, really cool if you're trying to do stuff, especially for gaming or VR or something like that, and you want to know how many polygons you've got in your model. That's really cool. The profile is really cool as well. Should do a session just on that. Check duplicates, fantastic, really handy, just to make sure that you haven't got like two slabs on itself, which is really easy to do if you go and use the magic wand and you double click instead of single click. You end up with two identical slabs within each other, which can really mess you up, especially when you're doing all your quantity surveying and that sort of carry on. And this accessories thing is really cool as well. It's got some wall accessories and slab accessories that you can attach. I don't know if it gives you any more information about that, but yeah, some really cool things. I don't know why they don't have it already built in, because they are really good. Anyway, I think we'll leave it at that. Until next time. See ya.